Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. This is going to be the first video in the new series Deep Dive Stocks. And in this series I'm going to dive a little deeper into individual stocks, and I think this is going to be a series that I am looking forward to recording the most. We'll start off with NVIDIA, which is one of the hottest and most famous stocks right now, I would say. It has been in the news the last couple of months and weeks. I'm trying to divide all the deep dive stocks videos in the same format. So first, let's actually check out what this company is about. I think for NVIDIA, most of you will know what it is about, but let's just read a bit about it. NVIDIA engages in the design and manufacture of computer graphics processors, chipsets, and related multimedia software. If you're a gamer, you're probably aware. They operate through the following segments: graphic processing units, GPU, Tegra processor, and all other. And the GPU segment comprises of product brands. Well, I'm not going to read this whole part, but if you're a gamer, you're probably aware of NVIDIA, but also with the upcoming AI technology, of course. NVIDIA is a pretty big player with their chips technologies and everything that is used in AI. It's an American tech company based in California, founded in 1993. It has 36K employees. And it has a huge market capitalization with $2.87 trillion. As you can see here, the current price is $117.70. When we go to GetQuinn, it's 108.24 euros. So it's also good to compare dollars with euros here. So that's the first segment. In the second segment of the deep dive videos, I want to check how the price has developed over history. Here we can see the max graph, which starts here in 2006. And as you can see, it was on 34 euro cents. But when we go like 7 years later, 2013, it was still a penny stock, 28 cents, not much happening. And that actually took till about 2015. But as you can see, 2016, we're above 1 euro. And when you think about it, it was 33.25 cents. If it's 1 euro, it already gained 400% at that time. It doesn't look like a lot when you look at it now, but it was a lot in 2016, and it kept on growing steadily. 2017 to €2.50, €3, €4. So you see that in 2017, 2018 it got bigger and bigger. It's got above €5, and then it dropped again in 2018 to €3. But altogether we see that it keeps on rising. 2020 it's above €10, and it continues till 2021, where it reaches a peak of around 27 euros. But then we have a drop where we drop back to 11. So actually, from 27 to 11, it means that it lost more than half of its value. I think it's around 60% of a value loss. But after that, it went up, and it went up fast. In 2023, we reached 40 euros, and then 2024, 50 euros, and also immediately above 100 euros, and the peak until now was last year in November. It's around 140 euros, which is also, I can show you the moment where I bought the stock. Actually, I bought it in January, but I bought it on a high. I bought it on 141, which means that currently I have a pretty big loss of 23% on NVIDIA. I mean, it could be worse, it could be better, but probably not the best moment that I stepped in. But I think overall, when you look at the graph, that there's still a lot of potential for NVIDIA. So let's take a look at the last year. The last year it kind of slowed down a bit, but as you can see, a year ago, May 2024, we were still around 80 euro. Then we went up to 125 and we've been hovering around 125, 100, 115, 95, 120, 140. And then, of course, the drop came with the DeepSeek news, where DeepSeek, the Chinese chatbot, was in the news that they would need a lot less, I think, a chip GPU memory, which means that it was easier for them to produce less chips and gain the same results than it was for NVIDIA. And you see that after that, the stock, I would not say crashed, but it went down. It went down from 133 till 99, and right now we're on 108. So it's not too bad, but we're not in a line that is only going up anymore this year. And as you can see, the last month it looks more like a downward trend. Last week we're kind of stable, minus 3%, around 110, 105. And the last day is not so interesting for these videos. Then let's take a look at the dividends for NVIDIA. If you want to invest in dividend stocks, it would not be a very good idea to invest in NVIDIA, because as you can see here, the dividends per stock are extremely low. In 2020 it was around 1 cent. It did increase with quite a lot, because right now in 2024 it was 3.17 cents per stock. Well, as you can imagine, with a stock that costs 108 euro, it means that if you would invest 1000 euro in NVIDIA, you will buy around 9 stocks. And if you have 9 stocks, you will get 27 cents of dividend, which is not a lot at all. So if you're aiming for dividend stocks, I would say NVIDIA is not your best stock to go. Then let's check a few more things. What I think is interesting here is that they outperformed the expectations for both the earnings and the revenue. I think I had it here, a bit easier to see. Let's see, where was that? Here. The EPS, earnings per stock. We have the reported and the estimate. So the expectation in 2023 till 2024, actually the expectation was almost always lower than the actual reported earnings per stock. And the same for the revenue. And as you can see, the revenue went up by a lot. In the second quarter of 2023 it was $13 billion. In the second quarter of 2024 it was $30 billion, so it went up with 17 billion. And the last quarter of last year it was $39 billion. So the expectations for this year are pretty high, and if the stock keeps on outperforming the expectations, then we are going to see a massive increase in both revenue and earnings per stock. Let me see, was there something here that I wanted to show? Yeah, this was just the about the company. I showed you how the stock did over the last years, so let's take a look at the two final things that I wanted to show to you, which was the revenue and the earnings per stock. We already checked that here. We also have a forecast, and a forecast is based on analyst ratings. Now, I think that analyst ratings are always something that you have to be careful with, because, yeah, of course, analysts also have a certain, let's say, influence on the stock. But as you can see here, most analysts have a strong buy. So most of the analysts advise to buy the stock. And based on the average expected price in a year, the expectation is that the price will be somewhere between $120 and $235. And currently in dollars, the stock is on 118. Which means that if the analysts are correct, that most certainly we will see the stock gain a lot of value, somewhere between 2% and 100%. Looking at the previous years, that could very well be the case, but with NVIDIA, as we saw in the maximum graph, I would expect it to go up, but there's also a lot of moments where the stock just drops around 20, 30 or even 40, 50% in value, especially around 2022 and also earlier in 2018 when it first was 5.86 and then went down to €3. So it happened multiple times in the past that the stock lost a lot of value, which makes it a bit difficult to say if the forecast will be correct. Last thing to look at is how the stock performed in the previous years over the seasons. We can see the thick blue line here is 2025. And until now it kind of follows the line of 2022 when the stock lost more than 50% in value with minus 51.48%. Also 2028 I was just talking about minus 33%. Those two were the worst years for the NVIDIA stock. But we can also see that in some of the other years, when we are here right now in March 2020, of course the COVID year was minus 14% in March, and 2019 was plus 28%. So it's not all looking bad, but yeah, 2024, 2023 was crazy with already plus 83 and plus 89% in the first few months of the year. And in the end, 2023, the stock ended on plus 245%. 2024, plus 178%. Earlier, from 2019 till 2021, the stock also increased a lot in 3 consecutive years. So it's hard to tell what it will do this year, but until now it's not the best start for NVIDIA. What I will do, I will just hold my position because that's what my strategy is based on. But I think it's interesting to follow if we are going to follow the 2022 line here, or that we will stay a bit closer to, for example, the 2019 line, or maybe the 2020 COVID line. I think a lot should be possible with NVIDIA, but yeah, as you can see, it's an interesting stock to follow, and it's not the most stable one, which can be good for you, but it can also mean that you, on the short term, could lose a lot of money. So yeah, with that, I want to conclude the first video of deep dive stocks. I hope you enjoyed the video and enjoyed the numbers that we checked. I want to continue this concept of deep dive stocks with a lot of other stocks, and I want to do it kind of in a similar way. But if you have any comments or if you have any recommendations to do it a bit differently, feel free to let me know. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.